Good evening, everyone. We still have some people being seated. The crowds have been streaming in from across Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois. This is a full house crowd on a June evening. Thank you all for coming this evening. We've got a beautiful summer evening in Grand Rapids. Despite a little rain here and there, we're delighted to have you with us. My name is Elaine Didier, and it's my honor and privilege to serve as director of both the Gerald Ford Museum here in Grand Rapids and the library in Ann Arbor. We're delighted to have you with us. As a part of our programming, we are very appreciative of the opportunity to co-host programs with various departments of Grand Valley State University. Our most frequent partner is the Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies, which has a strong record of bringing diverse and intellectually challenging speakers to Grand Rapids. And tonight's program is another stellar event in our partnership. I'm not going to go on and talk to you about the Ford Library and Museum. I'll do my commercial for upcoming programs after our speaker is with us. But right now, it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Gleaves Whitney, who is the director of the Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies. Gleaves?
Thank you very much, Elaine. I second that partnership that we have going, and your enthusiasm for the partnership is always appreciated, and I believe really it's a model for universities and presidential libraries and museums when we get together. We really do set, I think, the pace. Well, now, before introducing this evening's special guest, I'd like to recognize someone who's always special to us here in West Michigan, and that's Ralph Hauenstein. You know, ever since Bono called him the real cool cat of West Michigan, and you notice we had whistles back here? Well, he's the real force behind this evening's presentation. I'll tell you, Ralph and I have lunch on Wednesdays together. And Ralph suggested, only about 6 weeks ago, he said, you know what, that Mike Scheuer, he's such an interesting guy, we need to get him back into West Michigan. Do you think we could do that? And I said, well, we will just go ahead and do that. I know working with Elaine and her staff, her capable people, we'll be able to pull that off. So we were able to do this, and we were very happy to be able to bring Michael Scheuer in. And so this talk is really, in a sense, in honor of Ralph, the distinguished intelligence chief of World War II. And we're considering tonight sort of a special intelligence briefing. So thank you, Ralph, for making tonight possible and for letting us in on this high-level briefing. Well, it was a great idea because if you've been paying attention to current events recently, you know that Michael Scheuer has become really quite an interesting voice in the wilderness. He's recently come out with another bestseller, this one called Marching Toward Hell, America and Islam After Iraq. Now, Mike Scheuer is eminently qualified to write on this topic. He was with the CIA for more than 20 years, and from 1996 to 1999, he served as the chief of the bin Laden unit at Langley's Counterterrorism Center. From 9/11 to November 2004, the Bush administration brought him back to be a special advisor to the chief of the bin Laden unit at CIA. Now, he resigned from that post at the end of President Bush's first term and is currently an adjunct professor of security studies at Georgetown University, and he's also a senior fellow at the Jamestown Foundation, and we have the president of the Jamestown Foundation, Glenn Howard, with us right here. Thank you very much. Now, in addition to his expertise and insights into America's Middle East policy, I think two things commend Mike Scheuer to us this evening. First is that when he spoke at one of our previous events back in 2005, he proved himself to be what I call an equal opportunity provoker. Audience members from across the political spectrum found him extremely challenging, and that's the kind of thing that Elaine and I certainly like to do for West Michigan audiences. Second, Mike Scheuer is read by everyone who's studying American foreign policy in the Middle East and the war on terror, even Osama bin Laden, who has cited our speaker publicly. And you will see Mike Scheuer's footnotes, for example, all over a book like this, which is really transcriptions of Osama bin Laden's writings. Mike, I bet you never expected to be in bin Laden's reading club. What motivates Scheuer in marching toward hell is a question that has been raised by wise Americans and our allies for many decades. When the West was facing the Nazi menace, Winston Churchill was concerned that political leaders were squandering their nation's heritage. Let me quote Churchill, and this is in Mike's book. "We must recognize that we have a great treasure to guard, that the inheritance in our possession represents the prolonged achievement of the centuries. We have not only a great treasure, we have a great cause. Are we taking every measure within our power to defend that cause? Are we?" Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to what Mike Scheuer has to say about that. Thank you.